Season 7 does not have to be the end of young Sheldon, how it can go on. Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a like. CBS has the ability to continue young Sheldon after Season 7, so it doesn't have to finish there. When CBS made the decision to extend the universe and approve a prequel, The Big Bang Theory had already been broadcasting for 10 years and had established itself as a classic sitcom. It addresses Sheldon Cooper's early years in Medford, Texas, where he lived with his family, and serves as an origin story for Jim Parsons' character. For 2 years, young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory ran consecutively, providing CBS with a lucrative Thursday primetime block. Since the conclusion of The Big Bang Theory in 2019, which was over 4 years ago, young Sheldon has become a fantastic comedy. One comedy with a 0.9 demo rating and an average of 9.3 million viewers overall. Young Sheldon has clarified a number of TBT plotlines because they are set in the same universe, but it has also left a number of plot holes during its run. However, given what was revealed in the main series, it is evident that the prequel is coming to a natural conclusion regardless of CBS' approach to continuity. Nevertheless, there are ways to carry on with young Sheldon after Season 7. See also, young Sheldon describes one of his seldom seen Big Bang Theory omissions. Young Sheldon, which debuted in 2017, is already nearing the end of its 6th season. When it began, Missy and Sheldon were both 9 years old, and the male genius was the main focus. Its narrative has changed over time, though, with a greater emphasis on the remaining Cooper family members. It has become clear after a few years of using that storytelling technique that it has outgrown its premise in a number of ways. Sheldon is no longer young in the show to begin with. In Young Sheldon Season 6, he is 13 years old and a college student, which frequently keeps him apart from his family. Because of this, it is difficult to incorporate him into whatever takes place in Medford now. He even stays overnight at East Texas Tech. Second, he is no longer the only focus of young Sheldon. The comedy has evolved into an ensemble series despite having a title character. Sheldon's grant database project, for instance, is arguably far less engaging than Georgie and Mandy's pregnancy narrative. The disintegrating marriage between George and Mary may be compared to this. Perhaps the best thing young Sheldon did was to diversify its storyline, as this is the main factor that allows it to go past its predetermined conclusion. The history of The Big Bang Theory states that at the age of 14, Sheldon relocated from Texas to Pasadena in order to start graduate school at Caltech University. The show should essentially terminate if CBS sticks to the prequel's initial premise, which is why discussions are taking place to determine whether this is the wisest course of action. Nevertheless, they have additional choices that let young Sheldon continue past that time while still respecting the established continuity. Given that Sheldon is no longer the show's main character, and that the other Cooper family members are already attracting enough attention, it may simply be spun off to a show on CBS that centers on the rest of the clan. Sheldon's transfer to California allows the Big Bang Theory prequel to go, but the storyline stays in Medford. The show can illustrate how the other Coopers handled the loss of young Sheldon, even if George's absence will also be felt because he would have passed away about the same time. In the meantime, Missy's adolescent exploits and Georgie's path to become the prosperous proprietor of Dr. Tire can also be discussed. It would also be foolish to terminate young Sheldon after Season 7, given the events of Season 6. In light of the predetermined schedule, a darker ending is anticipated for the show. This horrific event and George's subsequent death will have to occur next year since Sheldon's cheating narrative is confirmed to not occur in Young Sheldon Season 6. The series would suffer from having 2 tragedies in a single year. George's affair and death in a few months will be too much to handle, Even if you're dealing with more somber stories like Georgie's unexpected pregnancy storyline and occur in season 7 after young Sheldon closed a TBDT plot hole regarding George's infidelity. However, it could completely address its effects on Sheldon's relationship with his father until he moves to California, rather than hurrying the next set of events. Then, in order to space out these significant developments, save George's death until the possible 8th season. Young Sheldon could use lighter stories to counterbalance this. It's still a family comedy/drama after all. Maybe more of baby Constance and the revival of Mandy and Georgie's romance might be shown in the season. Plotlines about Missy can also be entertaining. As stated earlier, Young Sheldon is the most popular comedy on television right now. From CBS's point of view, they will naturally want to continue airing it for as long as feasible. If season 6 had show high ratings, so it doesn't need any more encouragement. With that and Young Sheldon demonstrating that it is no longer dependent on Sheldon, CBS has a clear route to keep profiting from the growing popularity of the family comedy. Today, the network will surely do anything it can to keep the show on, but its creators also have a voice. This implies that Jim Parsons, Chuck Lorre, and Stephen Milaro, among others, will need to determine the best course of action, particularly in regard to the legacy of The Big Bang Theory, which they all contributed to. The cast's opinions are crucial, of course, but the majority of them have stated that they want to play young Sheldon for as long as possible. Therefore, it's likely that they will all be forgoing past season 7. Fans of young Sheldon are still reeling from the shock announcement that season 7 might be the end for the beloved sitcom. But what if we told you that young Sheldon doesn't need to end at all? In fact, the show has so much potential left to explore, and there's absolutely no reason why it can't continue for multiple more seasons. Yes, you read that right. Young Sheldon is far from being out of steam, and there are so many exciting directions the show could take after season 7. But could the creators really be letting this gem of a series fade out too soon? The shocking truth is that young Sheldon could go on for years to come, and fans would still be glued to their screens. Keep reading to find out how young Sheldon can avoid its premature end and keep entertaining us with its unforgettable moments, unforgettable characters, and jaw-dropping storylines. Trust us, after reading this, you'll agree that the show should keep going for as long as possible. If there's one thing that has been consistently captivating on young Sheldon, it's the incredible growth of Sheldon Cooper. The show has done a fantastic job of showing how Sheldon's genius mind and unique quirks have developed from a young age. We've watched him evolve from a precocious child genius into the socially awkward, but undeniably brilliant scientist we know from The Big Bang Theory. But here's the thing, Sheldon's character is nowhere near its full potential. Fans are still dying to know more about Sheldon's high school years, his first big break in the scientific community, and how his relationships with those around him will evolve as he gets older. While we've seen flashes of Sheldon's adulthood in The Big Bang Theory, there's so much untapped material from his teenage and early adult years that could bring fresh excitement to Sheldon's college years as he navigates the challenges of higher education, interacts with new professors, and even starts working on groundbreaking research. How about watching Sheldon face the obstacles of becoming a more emotionally mature individual while still dealing with his signature social awkwardness? This kind of character growth is rich with storytelling potential, and it's far from being exhausted by season 7. While Sheldon is undoubtedly the star of the show, young Sheldon has a supporting cast that is equally deserving of more screen time. The dynamics between Sheldon and his family members, his mother Mary, his father George Sr., his twin sister Missy, and his older brother Georgie, are a huge part of what makes the show so charming. But what if we told you that these characters still have plenty of room to evolve? Mary, played by the talented Zoe Perry, has already proven to be one of the most complex and captivating characters on the show. As Sheldon's fiercely protective mother, Mary's journey could be explored even more. What if Mary decides to pursue her own dreams outside of being Sheldon's mom? How might she balance her role as a mother while also trying to build a more fulfilling life for herself? George Sr., portrayed by Lance Barber, is another character who deserves more focus. We've seen hints of George Sr.'s personal struggles and his frustrations with his role as a father, but we've barely scratched the surface of his character. What if young Sheldon delves deeper into his past, exploring his youth, his struggles with being a father of a genius, and his relationships with friends, family, and work? And let's not forget about Missy. Though Sheldon is often the center of attention, Missy is such a relatable and fun character. The show could explore Missy's own growth and development as she tries to find her identity outside of Sheldon's shadow. Whether it's Missy finding her passion, developing her own friendships, or even exploring a future romance, there's so much material for her character to explore. What about Georgie? He has already begun to evolve into a more complex character, and his journey could be explored more as he tries to navigate life, relationships, and a potential career path. His future as an adult could be a huge source of fresh material for the show. With these characters and more, young Sheldon has the perfect opportunity to introduce new dynamics and characters to keep the show fresh and exciting. The sky's the limit in terms of where these characters can go next. One of the most fascinating aspects of young Sheldon is watching Sheldon Cooper's intellect flourish at such a young age. However, we've only scratched the surface when it comes to Sheldon's impact on the scientific community. After Season 7, the show could explore how Sheldon becomes the towering figure in physics we know him to be in The Big Bang Theory. What would it look like for a young Sheldon to start making major scientific discoveries or tackling complex research projects? What if we got to see Sheldon working alongside brilliant scientists, facing rivalries, and maybe even being forced to navigate the cutthroat world of academia? These storylines could be woven seamlessly into the show, showing Sheldon's progression from a child prodigy to a respected and sometimes controversial scientist. But the real kicker would be seeing how Sheldon's first few breakthroughs in science shape his character. Would his ego get the best of him? How would he handle rejection or criticism from other scientists? As Sheldon faces challenges, he would continue to grow and evolve, allowing the show to delve deeper into the pressures of being a genius in a world that doesn't always appreciate him. One of the most endearing qualities of young Sheldon is its ability to tug at the heartstrings. The show perfectly balances Sheldon's comedic quirks with sincere, emotional moments between family members. As we've seen over the years, Sheldon's relationship with his family has been complex, but full of love and understanding. But the emotional journey isn't over yet. There's still room for plenty more touching family moments. Whether it's Sheldon bonding with his father, George Sr., having deep heart-to-heart talks with his mom, or learning to appreciate his siblings, these moments of growth are crucial. Imagine seeing Sheldon's first real breakthrough in understanding how to connect with people emotionally. Or picture a scenario where Sheldon faces a major loss, and his family rallies around him in a way that has a profound impact on his development. These emotional beats are the backbone of the show, and there's no shortage of poignant moments yet to explore. We can't forget about the potential for even more exciting guest stars on Young Sheldon. Over the years, the show has been graced by notable guest stars who have added extra charm and flavor to the series, but there's always room for more. Imagine seeing more iconic scientists or even famous figures from Sheldon's life, like his mentors or colleagues from the scientific world. Perhaps even members of the Big Bang Theory crew could make cameos. We've already seen a few, but the possibilities are endless in terms of who could appear in Sheldon's world. Let's face it, Young Sheldon is still a ratings juggernaut, and the network isn't about to let it go without a fight. If Season 7 ends, it might be because of scheduling or a desire for closure, but the fact remains that the show still pulls in millions of viewers every week. As long as there's a demand, it's possible that the show will continue well past its supposed end date. Young Sheldon still has an abundance of untold stories, character growth, emotional moments, and scientific breakthroughs left to explore. Season 7 may feel like the end, but it doesn't have to be. Sheldon Cooper's journey has barely begun, and there's so much more of his life to explore. From his rise to fame in the scientific community to the continued growth of his relationships with his family, there's no shortage of material for young Sheldon to keep going. Would it be a tragedy for the show to end now? Absolutely. Let's hope the creators see the potential to continue this gem of a series and give fans the Sheldon story they deserve. So, what do you think? Do you agree that young Sheldon deserves to continue beyond Season 7? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.